Debugging guide. This guide will help you get started debugging your Node.js apps and scripts. Enable inspector. When started with the $inspect switch, a Node.js process listens for a debugging client. By default, it will listen at host and port 127.0.0.1 9229. Each process is also assigned a unique UUID. So you have the link for the UUID. You can make this one a little bigger. So UUID, a universally unique identifier, URN namespace. So you can read all this stuff, all this information here. Inspector clients must know and specify a host address, port, and UUID to connect. A full URL will look something like WS:/127.0.0.1:9229/0F2Z936F-B1CD-4AC9-A-B3-F6-3B0F33D55E. Node.js will also start listening for debugging messages if it receives a SIGAS R1 signal. The SIGAS R1 is not available on Windows. Node.js 7 and earlier deactivates the legacy debugger API. In Node.js 8 and later, it will activate the inspector API. So we have security implications. Since the debugger has full access to the Node.js execution environment, a malicious actor able to connect to the port may be able to execute arbitrary code on behalf of the Node.js process. It is important to understand the security implications of exposing the debugger port on public and private networks. Exposing the debugger port publicly is unsafe. If the debugger is bound to a public IP address or to 0.0.0.0, any clients that can reach your IP address would be able to connect to the debugger without any restriction and will be able to run arbitrary code. By default, node space $inspect binds to the 127.0.0.1. You explicitly need to provide a public IP address or 0.0.0.0, etc. if you intend to allow external connections to the debugger. Doing so may expose you to a potentially significant security threat. We suggest you ensure appropriate firewalls and access controls in place to prevent a security exposure. We have a CN section on enabling remote debugging scenarios, some advice on how to safely allow remote debugger clients to connect, so you can check this link here. Local applications have full access to the inspector. Even if you bind the inspector port to 127.0.0.1, the default, any implications running locally on your machine will have unrestricted access. This is by design to allow local debuggers to be able to attach conveniently. Browsers, WebSockets, and same origin policy. Websites open in a web browser can make WebSocket and HTTP requests under the browser security model. An initial HTTP connection is necessary to obtain a unique debugger session ID. The same origin policy prevents websites from being able to make this HTTP connection. For additional security against DNS rebinding attacks, Node.js verifies that the host headers for the connection either specify an IP address or localhost precisely. We have these security policies. This allow connecting to a remote debug server by specifying the hostname. You can work around this restriction by specifying either the IP address or by using SSH tunnels as described below. Inspector clients. A minimal CLI debugger is available with Node.inspect MyScript.js. Several commercial and open source tools can also connect to the Node.js inspector. Chrome DevTools 55 Plus, Microsoft Edge. We have option 1, open Chrome :/inspect in a Chromium based browser, or Edge :/inspect in Edge. Click the configure button and ensure your target host and port are listed. Option 2, copy the DevTools front end URL from the output of the /JSON/list or the $-inspect hint text and paste into Chrome. Note that the Node.js and Chrome need to be run on the same platform.